All right, let's get into the injuries we're tracking going into the weekend because
am I listed on it? Oh, no.
it's not fun. We'll get to Christian McCaffrey in just a second.
Can I take a nap? Or we had a commercial break yet?
We're almost there. We'll let you sleep, I don't know, at some point.
You sleep when you're dead.
Devon Achane and Tirico are expected to play per their head coach. Christian Kirk, though, things are not looking good for him. That could be a week-to-week injury now with the hamstring situation. Jaden Reed has been back at practice, which is a nice surprise because he was in a boot at one point this summer. Darnell Mooney is also back at practice. Michael Penix's number 2 wide receiver is day-to-day per his head coach right now. So
we're all day-to-day.
We are, and so is Darnell Mooney, although things are looking more promising. But we have to start with Christian McCaffrey here, guys, who, in classic fashion, Kyle Shanahan, downplays injuries and...
Literally, yesterday on the show, Connor, you weren't here, you were mourning your Mets.
Yes. I'll be off when they win, too, by the way, on Thursdays. So don't get your hopes up, anyone. When the Mets win on Wednesdays, I won't be here on Thursdays.
He's got to go to the gun show. I get it.
That's right. Always open.
Yeah, always open.
Like Club said.
So anyway, we literally played, we literally played sound from Kyle Shanahan talking how confident he was about Christian McCaffrey's health, how he feels good. And 2 hours later, the report comes out that he's on the injury report, limited in practice with a calf injury.
Which is the scary part.
Which, by the way, I'm no doctor, but for running backs that use their legs, they need calves. Jay Croucher.
It's just not good. It's just not what you want. And Christian McCaffrey's dealt with calf issues in the past. It cost him time at the end of 2023. The thing with McCaffrey is that even the last season when he was healthy in 2023, he's still coming out of games early. He missed the last 2 games of the season, or game and a half of the season with the calf. He was very lucky that they had the bye going into the playoffs. He has been really banged up. And I think, at least me and Matthew were high on McCaffrey coming in because
I was very much so.
Because I think the people were just baking in too much. It's 100% chance that he's going to get hurt, and it's never that. But when you look at his games played since 2020, it's great. 3, 7, 17, 16.
Yeah, but again, last year obviously was a brutal year for Christian. Played only 4 games, but he played 33 games the 2 years prior. Yeah. He's been relatively healthy since coming to San Francisco, except for last year. I'm not panicking just yet.
No. It raises the alarm level.
It raises the eyebrows. It makes Brian Robinson, to the extent you can get him, more of a priority. I will say, though, if somehow, we'll watch the practice reports today, and this is a good promo, by the way, Jay, myself and you, Lawrence Jackson, George Savarikas, Fantasy Football pregame. Sunday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern, all the way to kickoff. We're back again on YouTube, on the NFL and NBC YouTube channel, and, of course, Peacock. So we will have all the latest updates Sunday morning, getting you ready for all the week's action, both fantasy and betting. But we'll watch the practice reports today. Hopefully he practices in full or, loses the designation. If for some reason he were to miss this game, I think if I had to start a 49ers running back, it would be Isaac Guerendo. Because Robinson just got there. Guerendo was in the...
I don't think they'll care.
You think?
I think they're just hey, buddy, fire it up.
He's healthy.
Right.
So.
Yeah. No, exactly. Here you go. Off tackle.
Yeah. I know what you're saying.
You're hitting the A-gap. But
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think them going out and training for B-Rob tells me what they think of their other backs. Maybe week 1.
That's what I'm saying. I'm arguing week 1 that if I had to pick one, for the season, Brian Robinson is clearly the insurance running back you want if you have McCaffrey. I'm just saying for week 1, Guerendo's been there. He's been in the offense, and so I might feel better about him than Brian Robinson. I think he's more explosive than Robinson. Honestly, what I would think is that this game is going to be all George Kittle and Ricky Pearsall.
That's where my mind goes to right away. And Juwan Jennings.
To an extent.
Things are looking better. They added $3 million to his playtime incentives. He's back at practice. He has been limited, but he has told some people, some reporters, that he's personally expecting to go. We'll see. But Pearsall and Kittle, are full throttle.
Yeah, just he hasn't been in camp, so and he's already a little bit banged up. So does he play limited snaps?
Right.
You just don't know. You feel really good about Kittle and Pearsall this week, I would say. We'll wait to see on McCaffrey and his health. But it's one of those things where it's just it's week 1. How's he limited in practice in week?
I would say also he was limited in practice and listed questionable week 1 last year, and then we didn't.
So here's what scares me. Is that this designation pops up after, when you look at the practice week for a typical NFL week, especially week 1, and you're playing on a Sunday, or even if you're playing on a Monday, that Wednesday is okay,
Yeah.
we're going here.
Yeah.
We're going full throttle. So they go full throttle for the first game of the season, and this pops up right away.
Yeah.
That's what worries me. It's not like last week of July, we got to be careful here.
Yeah.
It's like, we were game planning.
Yeah.
We're running what we're practicing for the actual game, and all of a sudden this is back again.
Even on a Wednesday in week 7.
Right.
Where you'd be like, hey, whatever. They've just
exactly.
They played
you
the
treat
Monday
it
night,
differently.
They played the Monday night game all the way, so shorter week, and they were cross country and blah blah.
We need this guy good for the Thursday or at least the Friday. Get it practicing on the Friday. It's like after Wednesday this comes up. It just doesn't feel. It understandably does not feel good.
Yeah, calf is also not the one you want in terms of aggravation risk, soft tissue for a guy who's almost 30. Man, it's not ideal.
It's not ideal.
The line moved from Niners -2.5 in Seattle to Niners -1.5.
Wow.
I personally think the Seahawks will win that game, but we will see. Purdy has struggled against Mike McDonald at times in the past, including on Christmas, famously.
Oh, for sure. But that's interesting that McCaffrey's worth a point.
It's 2.5 to 1.5 isn't a big move because it's not through 3. Not many games end on 2 specifically. But yeah, it is material. Like Christian McCaffrey is 2 years ago. He's the most valuable running back in the NFL, largely because of the work that he does in the pass game. And even coming into this year, there's not many running backs who are more valuable than him, in terms of how they affect the line. Maybe just Saquon, Bijan. There's not that many guys.
Yeah. All right, guys. Some more injuries here, and that's obviously going to be just a massive one to watch all the way till kickoff, of course.
Why can't we have nice things?
No, you can't. You cannot, especially if you drafted CMC. Yeah. Jerome Ford listed as the starter on the Browns depth chart. Fire up Jerome Ford time, maybe?
Yeah. I believe so. Look, he made my love list. He also I have a new column out. I'm not writing love-hate anymore, but I am writing a column on Thursdays. It's much easier for me to write than it is love-hate, so I'm not going back on my words from love-hate. But it's called 10 Facts You Need to Know Before Week 1. And next week it'll be 10 Facts You Need to Know Before Week 2. See?
Can't wait for Week 5. So
yeah,
there's
exactly.
a twist. You actually start prepping for Week 8 instead.
Yeah. But, I just talked about the fact that, this is Jerome Ford, when he has gotten work, has been productive. And most importantly, look, they are 5.5-point underdogs to the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals are a team last year that gave up a lot of receptions to opposing running backs. That's an area of weakness for them. We don't think their defense is very good at all. So in theory, the Browns should be in game script quite a bit. They're going to be throwing. They're going to be trailing against a defense that gives up a lot of receptions to opposing running backs. So yeah, Jerome Ford, who is not only their pass catching running back, but right now, to your point about being first on the depth chart, I suspect they trust Jerome Ford a lot more than the rookie Dylan Sampson. If I'm starting a Cleveland Browns running back this week, it is Jerome Ford. And I think Ford, I'm at 23. I'm as a high-end flex, low-end RB2 this week.
It's the Bengals.
It's the Bengals. I think Jerome Ford is somebody that should be started in a lot of leagues this week. He's not 100% rostered, by the way, so worth checking to see if he's out there. It'll be interesting to see if Jaden Higgins does anything with the opportunity now that Christian Kirk is out in Houston, or just if Nico Collins just goes nuclear.
Our last bit of news here, guys. We waved hello and then goodbye to Amari Cooper. He's announced his retirement after 10 seasons. That was the quickest comeback of all time.
Dude.
How many days?
3?
Yep.
Yeah.
Amari
4?
Cooper.
Similar amount of days that Joe Flacco's come back in 2023 when he won Comeback Player of the Year. Similar amount of time.
Similar amount. We'll see if Amari Cooper wins Comeback Player of the Year as well. But this is me. So a guy that I follow on social media, Burgundy Blog, he just does a great job. He does a great job covering the Commanders, my team. And so he tweeted out, this is from March 14th, who was just trying to think hey, I wonder if we should add to our wide receiver depth room. Amari Cooper's out there. And I just replied to him, Amari is done. That's not me talking. That's from an offensive coach of a former team of his I spoke to at the Combine. Again, this tweet is from March 14th. And to which Burgundy Blog was like, yeah, okay, my bad, never mind. He's great. He does a great job. He's very insightful commentary around the team. I enjoy following him quite a bit. But what I would say is that if you go back to my 25 things I heard at the Combine, that was one of the things I heard where I talked to an offensive coach of one of his former teams where I said, hey, what happened to Amari last year? And the answer was, I think he's just done. I mean, again, he couldn't get production with Josh Allen in an opportunity. They needed him, right?
Yeah.
Keon
Matt
Coleman,
Collins instead.
right? And Keon Coleman took the time to develop. So they wanted Amari Cooper to work, and he just didn't. He just couldn't, right? And so So anyway, not surprised that that he called it a career. Look, he is somebody who had 7 1,000-yard receivings, four different games. What?
Receivings is good.
What did I say?
What language was that?
I don't know.
You
Dude, I'm on 2 hours of sleep.
7 1,000-yard receiving seasons?
Sorry, 7,000-yard seasons. 7 seasons.
Mais en fait,
All right.
He's going to bring Daddy on. Please bring Daddy on.
Press
the button.
7 seasons where he had at least 1,000 yards receiving as well. We can always remember the December 24th game against Cleveland in 2023 where he had 51.5 fantasy points, 11 for 265, 2 receiving touchdowns. Amari Cooper, fantasy superstar. Much respect on your retirement.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotoWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest RotoWorld fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.